Hello. So I'm going to do a quick little video on the Whites and their hut system. I have had a few Nobos ask me about those quite a bit, and they were having trouble finding out information, and I have to agree, I couldn't find information when I went through it too. But now that I've been through it, I understand the system. So I thought I'd share that with you and just kind of go over how it actually works. So in the Whites, you cannot camp above the Alpine. So you have to either camp in the huts or at the designated tent platform sites or below the tree line. And since a lot of it's above Alpine, you end up just choosing the huts or the tent sites. So there are plenty of places to camp if you don't want to pay to stay at the huts. The huts are a system that's been around for quite some time. They are quite expensive. You get a nice bunk, you get great food, but you pay about 165 bucks a night. So there are some options there. If you want to stay actually in the hut but not in the bunks, you can do a work for stay. They're hard to get. You have to be there at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the camp head, usually the cook, will choose 2 people to sort of do chores. They say for 2 hours. It's really not that long, but you'll do stuff like cleaning the table or sweeping the floor. Some places might get you to wash dishes, but most of them have a system that they like to do, so you won't really be washing dishes, but you might be. So who knows? There's whatever they choose for you to do, that's what you'll end up doing. And then after dinner, after everyone's served dinner, and the crew themselves have had dinner, there's leftovers, and there's always enough leftovers. You'll definitely get a good meal. The food is amazing, and they don't want to pack out any leftovers, so you end up eating what's there. And so we tried it, and it was great. And then afterwards, at about 9 o'clock is quiet hours, so that's when you would put out your sleeping pad in the main dining hall, and that's where you would sleep. Now, that can be really loud because sometimes the guests don't go to bed early and they can stay up in the main area, but the lights are down, so they usually wear their headlights. So you may or may not get great sleep. You do have to be up and out by 6 o'clock because they have breakfast there. That's usually not an issue because people get up pretty darn early. And then, so when we did it, we stayed at the Madison Hut and we did not get great sleep. So personally, it wasn't for me, but some people might think it's great, especially if it's a cold and crappy day. PG, that version, beep. Yeah, so that's kind of the work for stay. Now, the tent sites, you pay $10 for the first one, and then after that, for every time you stay at a tent site, it's $5. You get a card like this, and it tells you which tent site you've stayed at around the edge there. So every time you go, you pay your $5, and it'll tell you which one it is. With this little card, you get 2 baked goods and a soup for free at any of the huts. So you go there and they'll mark off what you've had. They're definitely worth it, so get your free baked goods and soup because they are very delicious. They make really good food at the huts. And you can get those items, the soup anyway, at least until about 3 o'clock. And then that's pretty much it for soup hours, anytime between 9 and 3. And then the baked goods, I think you can pretty much get anytime. You can't go in unless you're a guest there at dining hours, so breakfast and or dinner. But anytime during the day is fine. They always have water there available, so you can fill up your water bottle, and they have bathrooms, which is great. So they're definitely worth stopping in at and checking them out because, you know, they're pretty neat. And just hanging out in, they've got maps and everything. Now, the tenting sites are the platform sites. Like I said, you pay $5. Some of them have shelters, and some of them aren't pay at all. They usually have a caretaker, so you sign in with them and they'll put you in a platform. Sometimes they'll have more than 1 or 2 person tents per platform, depending on how big your tent is and how busy the site is. Now, some of those tent platform sites are set up by the shelters. after 9 o'clock, if there's any breakfast left over, and there always is, there will be free breakfast for through hikers. So usually it's like oatmeal, sausage, eggs, and pancakes, and you can buy coffee and whatnot for $1. So it's definitely worth it. But they won't usually serve it till some as early as 8:30, but usually 9 o'clock is that window. So 9 to whenever they run out. And that's definitely worth stopping in if you can time that correctly. So that's pretty much how the hut system works. We got through the Whites, I think, in about, I want to say 9 days. I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate. So I did really enjoy the Whites. They were great. The hut system works well once you get the hang of it. And I did find the tent sites had bare boxes, so you didn't have to bare hang. So I hope that was helpful, and if you did find it useful, give it a thumbs up and do subscribe, and hopefully you'll catch Jeff and I as we continue going solo. So thanks for watching.